Hey there, folks! Welcome back to our channel. We'll be exploring their etymology, taxonomy and phylogeny, species, characteristics, biology and behavior, and their relationship with humans. So, let's get started. Did you know that the word crocodile originates from the Greek word crocodilos? It's a combination of krokos meaning saffron and delos meaning visible, which refers to the saffron-colored color of their bellies. Crocodiles belong to the order Crocodilia, which includes alligators, caimans, and gavials. They are the largest living reptiles and have been around for over 200 million years. There are 23 species of crocodiles, each with unique characteristics. Crocodiles are cold-blooded animals, meaning their body temperature is regulated by the environment. They have a unique biology and behavior, such as their ability to hold their breath for up to 2 hours, and their powerful jaws can crush bones. Crocodiles have a complex relationship with humans, from being hunted for their skin and meat to being protected in certain areas. They are also an important part of the ecosystem, helping to control the population of other animals. That's it for today's episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed learning about these amazing creatures. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Crocodiles family Crocodilidae, or true crocodiles, are large, semi-aquatic reptiles that live throughout the tropics in Africa, Asia, the Americas, and Australia. The term crocodile is sometimes used more loosely to include all extant members of the order Crocodilia, which includes the alligators and caimans, both members of the family Alligatoridae, the gharial and false gharial, both members of the family Gavialidae, as well as other extinct taxa. Although crocodiles, alligators, and the gharial are similar in appearance, they belong to separate biological families. The gharial, with its narrow snout, is easier to distinguish, while morphological differences are more difficult to spot in crocodiles and alligators. The most obvious external differences are visible in the head, with crocodiles having narrower and longer heads, with a more V-shaped than a U-shaped snout compared to alligators and caimans. Another obvious trait is that the upper and lower jaws of the crocodiles are the same width, and the teeth in the lower jaw fall along the edge or outside the upper jaw when the mouth is closed. Therefore, all teeth are visible, unlike an alligator, which possesses in the upper jaw small depressions into which the lower teeth fit. Also, when the crocodile's mouth is closed, the large fourth tooth in the lower jaw fits into a constriction in the upper jaw. For hard-to-distinguish specimens, the protruding tooth is the most reliable feature to define the species family. 1. Crocodiles have more webbing on the toes of the hind feet and can better tolerate salt water due to specialized salt glands for filtering out salt, which are present, but non-functioning, in alligators. Another trait that separates crocodiles from other crocodilians is their much higher levels of aggression. To crocodile size, morphology, behavior, and ecology differ somewhat among species. However, they have many similarities in these areas as well. All crocodiles are semi-aquatic and tend to congregate in freshwater habitats such as rivers, lakes, wetlands, and sometimes in brackish water and saltwater. They are carnivorous animals, feeding mostly on vertebrates such as fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals, and sometimes on invertebrates such as mollusks and crustaceans, depending on species and age. All crocodiles are tropical species that, unlike alligators, are very sensitive to cold. Many species are at the risk of extinction, some being classified as critically endangered. See also, list of Crocodilians. Crocodile was named as a family by Georges Cuvier in 1807. It belongs to the larger superfamily Crocodiloidea, which also includes additional extinct crocodile relatives. These all belong to the order Crocodilia, which also includes alligators and gharials. Crocodilidae is cladistically defined as a crown group composed of the last common ancestor of the Nile crocodile, Crocodilus niloticus, the dwarf crocodile Osteolaemus tetraspis, and all of its descendants. 7. It contains two subfamilies, Crocodilianae and Osteolaeminates. 8. Crocodilianae contains 13 to 14 living species, as well as 6 extinct species. Osteolaeminae was named by Christopher Broku in 2003 as a subfamily of Crocodilidae separate from Crocodilianae. 9. And contains the 2 extant genera Osteolaemus and Mesostops, along with several extinct genera. The number of extant species within Osteolaeminae is currently in question. 10. The American crocodile Crocodilus acutus is a species of Crocodilian found in the neotropics. It is the most widespread of the 4 extant species of crocodiles from the Americas, with populations present from South Florida, the Caribbean islands of Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola, 4, and the coasts of Mexico to as far south as Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, and Venezuela. The habitat of the American crocodile consists largely of coastal areas. 5. It is also found in river systems, but tends to prefer salinity, resulting in the species congregating in brackish lakes, mangrove swamps, lagoons, cays, and small islands. Other crocodiles also have tolerance to salt water due to salt glands underneath the tongue. But the American crocodile is the only species other than the saltwater crocodile to commonly live and thrive in saltwater. 6. They can be found on beaches and small island formations without any freshwater source, such as many cays and islets across the Caribbean. They are also found in hypersaline lakes. One of the largest known populations inhabits Lago Enriquillo in the Dominican Republic. 7. The American crocodile is one of the largest crocodile species. Males can reach lengths of more than 7 meters, 23 feet 0 in, weighing over 1,000 kilograms to 1,200 pounds. 7, 8, 9. On average, mature males are more in the range of 2.9 to 4.1 meters, 9 feet 6 into 13 feet 5 in length, weighing up to about 400 kilograms, 880 pounds. 10. As with other crocodile species, females are smaller, rarely exceeding 3.8 meters, 12 feet 6 in length, even in the largest bodied population. 11. Like any other large crocodilian, the American crocodile is potentially dangerous to humans, but it tends not to be as aggressive as some other species. 12. American crocodiles coexist with the American alligator in Florida and with the smaller spectacled caiman within Central America and South America. The IUCN lists the American crocodile as vulnerable. Crocodilus halley, also known as Hall's New Guinea crocodile, is a species of crocodile endemic to the island of New Guinea. It is found on the southern half of the island, south of the New Guinea Highlands. It is named after Philip M. Hall, a researcher at the University of Florida who performed the initial studies to clarify the species' distinctiveness. 2, 3, 4, 5. The Orinoco crocodile Crocodilus intermedius is a critically endangered crocodile. Its population is very small, and they can only be found in the Orinoco River Basin in Venezuela and Colombia. Extensively hunted for their skins in the 19th and 20th centuries, it is one of the most endangered species of crocodiles. It is a very large species of crocodilian. Males have been reported up to 6.8 meters, 22 feet 4 in the past, weighing over 900 kilograms to 1,000 pounds. 3. But such sizes do not exist today. 5.2 meters, 17 feet 1 in being a more widely accepted maximum size. A large male today may attain 4.2 meters, 13 feet 9 in length, and can weigh up to 450 kilograms, 1,000 pounds, while females are substantially smaller, with the largest likely to weigh around 225 kilograms, 496 pounds. Sexual dimorphism is not as profound as in other crocodilian species. Citation needed. The coloration is light even in adults. The ecology of the Orinoco crocodile is poorly documented in the wild, mostly due to its small population. It is thought to have a more passivorous diet with an opportunistic nature, resulting in generalist predatory behavior. It is an apex predator and preys on a variety of birds, mammals, and reptiles, including caimans on occasion. Its prey base is mostly large predatory fish, challenging the general view by locals complaining about crocodiles hunting local fish to very low numbers. Reproduction takes place in the dry season when the water level is low. It is a hole nester and digs holes in the sand for its clutch of eggs. The females guard the nests and young for several years. The freshwater crocodile, Crocodilus johnstoni, also known commonly as the Australian freshwater crocodile, Johnstone's crocodile, and the freshie, is a species of crocodile native to the northern regions of Australia. Unlike its much larger Australian relative, the saltwater crocodile, the freshwater crocodile is not known as a man-eater, although it bites in self-defense and brief. Non-fatal attacks have occurred, apparently the result of mistaken identity. The Philippine crocodile, Crocodilus mindorensis, also known as the Mindoro crocodile, the Philippine freshwater crocodile, the bucard for an Ilocano, and more generally as a buwaya in most Filipino lowland cultures, is one of two species of crocodiles found in the Philippines. The other is the larger saltwater crocodile, Crocodilus porosus. 5-6. The Philippine crocodile, the species endemic only to the country, went from data deficient to critically endangered in 2008 from exploitation and unsustainable fishing methods. 7. Such as dynamite fishing. 8. Conservation methods are being taken by the Dutch, Filipino, Mabuhay Foundation. 9. The Crocodile Conservation Society and the Zoological Institute of Herpa World in Mindoro Island. It is strictly prohibited to kill a crocodile in the country, and it is punishable by law. Morlet's crocodile, Crocodilus morleti, also known as the Mexican crocodile or Belize crocodile, is a modest-sized crocodilian found only in the Atlantic regions of Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala. 2-5. It usually grows to about 3 meters, 10 feet in length. It is a species at least concerned for extinction, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. 2. The species has a fossil record in Guatemala. 6. The Nile crocodile, Crocodilus niloticus, is a large crocodilian native to freshwater habitats in Africa, where it is present in 26 countries. It is widely distributed in sub-Saharan Africa, occurring mostly in the eastern, southern, and central regions of the continent, and lives in different types of aquatic environments, such as lakes, rivers, swamps, and marshlands. 3. It occasionally inhabits deltas, brackish lakes, and rarely also saltwater. Its range once stretched from the Nile Delta throughout the Nile River. Lake Turkana in Kenya has one of the largest undisturbed Nile crocodile populations. Generally, the adult male Nile crocodile is between 3.5 and 5 meters 11 feet 6 in and 16 feet 5 in length and weighs 225 to 750 kilograms for 196 to 1,653 pounds. 5-6, however, specimens exceeding 6.1 meters 20 feet in length and 1,000 kilograms to 1,200 pounds. It is the largest predator in Africa and may be considered the second largest extant reptile in the world, after the saltwater crocodile, Crocodilus porosus. 8-9. Size is sexually dimorphic, with females usually about 30% smaller than males. The crocodile has thick, scaly, heavily armored skin. Nile crocodiles are opportunistic apex predators, a very aggressive crocodile. They are capable of taking almost any animal within their range. They are generalists, taking a variety of prey, 9-10, with a diet consisting mostly of different species of fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals. As ambush predators, they can wait for hours, days, and even weeks for the suitable moment to attack. They are agile predators and wait for the opportunity for a prey item to come well within attack range. Like other crocodiles, Nile crocodiles have a powerful bite that is unique among all animals, and sharp, conical teeth that sink into flesh, allowing a grip that is almost impossible to loosen. They can apply high force for extended periods of time, a great advantage for holding down large prey underwater to drown. 9 Nile crocodiles are relatively social. 11 They share basking spots and large food sources, such as schools of fish and big carcasses. Large, old males are at the top of this hierarchy and have first access to food and the best basking spots. Crocodiles tend to respect this order. When it is infringed, the results are often violent and sometimes fatal. 12. Like most other reptiles, Nile crocodiles lay eggs. These are guarded by the females, but also males, making the Nile crocodiles one of few reptile species whose males contribute to parental care. 13. The hatchlings are also protected for a period of time, but hunt by themselves and are not fed by the parents. 10-14 The Nile crocodile is one of the most dangerous species of crocodile and is responsible for hundreds of human deaths every year. 15. It is common and is not endangered, despite some regional declines or extirpations in the Maghreb. The New Guinea crocodile, Crocodilus novaeguinea, is a small species of crocodile found on the island of New Guinea north of the mountain ridge that runs along the center of the island. The population found south of the mountain ridge, formerly considered a genetically distinct population, is now considered a distinct species. Hall's New Guinea crocodile C. Halley. In the past, it included the Philippine crocodile, C. mindorensis, as a subspecies, but today, they are regarded as separate species. The habitat of the New Guinea crocodile is mostly freshwater swamps and lakes. It is most active at night when it feeds on fish and a range of other small animals. A female crocodile lays a clutch of eggs in a nest composed of vegetation, and she lies up nearby to guard the nest. There is some degree of parental care for newly hatched juveniles. This crocodile was overhunted for its valuable skin in the mid-20th century, but conservation measures have since been put in place. It is reared in ranches, and the International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) lists it as being of least concern. The New Guinea Highlands, also known as the Central Range or Central Cordillera, is a long chain of mountain ranges on the island of New Guinea, including the island's highest peak, Puncak Jaya. Indonesia, 16,024 feet per 1,884 meters, the highest mountain in Oceania. The range is home to many intermountain river valleys, many of which support thriving agricultural communities. The highlands run generally east-west the length of the island, which is divided politically between Indonesia in the west and Papua New Guinea in the east. These mountains stretch from the Wayland Mountains starting in Wandema Bay Regency in the west to the Milne Bay Province in the east. The mugger crocodile, Crocodilus palustris, is a medium-sized broad-snouted crocodile, also known as mugger and marsh crocodile. It is native to freshwater habitats from southeastern Iran to the Indian subcontinent, where it inhabits marshes, lakes, rivers, and artificial ponds. It rarely reaches a body length of 5 meters, 16 feet 5 in, and is a powerful swimmer, but also walks on land in search of suitable water bodies during the hot season. Both young and adult mugger crocodiles dig burrows to which they retreat when the ambient temperature drops below 5°C 41 degrees Fahrenheit or exceeds 38 Celsius 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Females dig holes in the sand as nesting sites and lay up to 46 eggs during the dry season. The sex of hatchlings depends on temperature during incubation. Both parents protect the young for up to 1 year. They feed on insects, and adults prey on fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals. The mugger crocodile evolved at least for 0.19 million years ago and has been a symbol for the fructifying and destructive powers of the rivers since the Vedic period. It was first scientifically described in 1831 and is protected by law in Iran, India, and Sri Lanka. Since 1982, it has been listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List. Outside protected areas, it is threatened by conversion of natural habitats, gets entangled in fishing nets, and is killed in human-wildlife conflict situations and in traffic accidents. The mugger crocodile, Crocodilus palustris, is a medium-sized broad-snouted crocodile, also known as mugger and marsh crocodile. It is native to freshwater habitats from southeastern Iran to the Indian subcontinent, where it inhabits marshes, lakes, rivers, and artificial ponds. It rarely reaches a body length of 5 meters (16 feet 5 in) and is a powerful swimmer, but also walks on land in search of suitable water bodies during the hot season. Both young and adult mugger crocodiles dig burrows to which they retreat when the ambient temperature drops below 5°C 41 degrees Fahrenheit or exceeds 38 Celsius 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Females dig holes in the sand as nesting sites and lay up to 46 eggs during the dry season. The sex of hatchlings depends on temperature during incubation. Both parents protect the young for up to 1 year. They feed on insects, and adults prey on fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals. The mugger crocodile evolved at least for 0.19 million years ago and has been a symbol for the fructifying and destructive powers of the rivers since the Vedic period. It was first scientifically described in 1831 and is protected by law in Iran, India, and Sri Lanka. Since 1982, it has been listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List. Outside protected areas, it is threatened by conversion of natural habitats, gets entangled in fishing nets, and is killed in human-wildlife conflict situations and in traffic accidents. The saltwater crocodile, Crocodilus porosus, is a crocodilian native to saltwater habitats, brackish wetlands, and freshwater rivers from India's east coast across Southeast Asia and the Sundaland to northern Australia and Micronesia. It has been listed as least concern on the IUCN Red List since 1996. 2. It was hunted for its skin throughout its range up to the 1970s and is threatened by illegal killing and habitat loss. It is regarded as dangerous to humans. 4. The saltwater crocodile is the largest living reptile. 5. Males can grow up to a weight of 1,000 to 1,500 kilograms to 1,200 to 3,300 pounds and a length of 6 meters, 20 feet, rarely exceeding 6.3 meters, 21 feet, 6'7". Females are much smaller and rarely surpass 3 meters, 9.8 feet, 8'9". It is also called the estuarine crocodile, Indo-Pacific crocodile, marine crocodile, sea crocodile, and, informally, the salty, 10, a large and opportunistic hyper-carnivorous apex predator. They ambush most of their prey and then drown or swallow it whole. They will prey on almost any animal that enters their territory, including other predators such as sharks, varieties of freshwater and saltwater fish, including pelagic species, invertebrates such as crustaceans, various amphibians, other reptiles, birds, and mammals. 1112 Crocodilus reninus, the Borneo crocodile, is an enigmatic species of freshwater crocodile endemic to the Southeast Asian island of Borneo. 2. Its taxonomic status is controversial and unclear. It has been considered by some authors as a synonym of Crocodilus porosus, although a redescription in 1990 and 1992 presented evidence of distinct identity. 3.4. Currently, it is considered to have been misidentified C. porosus or C. siamensis. Crocodilus reninus, the Borneo crocodile, is an enigmatic species of freshwater crocodile endemic to the Southeast Asian island of Borneo. 2. Its taxonomic status is controversial and unclear. It has been considered by some authors as a synonym of Crocodilus porosus, although a redescription in 1990 and 1992 presented evidence of distinct identity. 3.4. Currently, it is considered to have been misidentified C. porosus or C. siamensis. The Cuban crocodile, Crocodilus romifer, is a small-medium species of crocodile endemic to Cuba. Typical length is to 0.1 to 2.3 meters, 6.9 to 7.5 feet, and typical weight 70 to 80 kilograms, 150 to 180 pounds. Large males can reach as much as 3.5 meters 11 feet in length and weigh more than 215 kilograms per 100. Despite its smaller size, it is a highly aggressive animal, one of the most territorial of all crocodilians, and potentially dangerous to humans. The Cuban crocodile is of interest to biologists for its unique physical and behavioral traits. Long and strong-legged, it is the most terrestrial of extant crocodiles. Its preferred habitat comprises freshwater and brackish water environments, such as mangrove swamps, coastal lagoons, estuaries, marshes, floodplains, and river deltas. There, the adults feed on fish, turtles, and small mammals, while the young eat invertebrates and smaller fish. Mating occurs between May and July. Captive animals have displayed cooperative hunting behavior and can be taught tricks, suggesting intelligence. The Cuban crocodile is listed as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Once spread across the Caribbean, its range has dwindled to including only the Zapata Swamp and Isla de la Juventud due to hunting by humans. Captive breeding projects are in place to help the species recover. The species' fossil record reveals it had at one point a greater range, with fossil remains being found in the Bahamas, for Hispaniola in the Dominican Republic, and the Cayman Islands. 5. The Siamese crocodile, Crocodilus siamensis, is a medium-sized freshwater crocodile native to Indonesia, Borneo, and possibly Java, Brunei, East Malaysia, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. The species is critically endangered and already extirpated from many regions. Its other common names include Siamese freshwater crocodile, Singapore small grain, and soft belly. 3. The West African crocodile, desert crocodile, or sacred crocodile, Crocodilus such as to, is a species of crocodile related to, and often confused with, the larger and more aggressive Nile crocodile C. Niloticus. 3. For Crocodilus anthropophagus is an extinct species of crocodile from the Pleistocene of Tanzania. It lived 1.8 million years ago. 1. It was a large-sized predator reaching a length of 7.5 meters, 25 feet. 2. 3. Crocodilus checkii is an extinct species of crocodile from the Miocene to Pliocene of Libya and Kenya. C. Checkii was named in 1947 based on a skull from the Sahabi Formation. Remains from the Lower Nawada Formation in the Turkana Basin of Kenya that were first attributed to the Nile crocodile have now been reassigned to C. checkii, extending its geographic range. The morphology of the species, in particular the pronounced rostral boss, indicates that it may be the connecting link between African and American species of the genus Crocodilus. Crocodilus falconensis is an extinct species of crocodile known from the early Pliocene of the lower part of the verbal member of the San Gregorio Formation of Venezuela. See, falconensis was named in 2013 after Falcon State and is thought to be the balsamos species of Crocodilus found in the Neotropics. Crocodilus palaindicus is an extinct species of crocodile from southern Asia. C. Palaindicus lived from the Miocene to the Pliocene. It may be an ancestor of the living mugger crocodile. Crocodilus thorbjarnarsoni is an extinct species of crocodile from the Pliocene and Pleistocene of the Turkana Basin in Kenya. It is closely related to the species Crocodilus anthropophagus, which lived during the same time in Tanzania. See, thorbjarnarsoni could be the largest known true crocodile, with the largest skull found indicating a possible total length up to 7.6 meters, 25 feet. 2. It may have been a predator of early hominins. Crocodilus thorbjarnarsoni was named by Christopher Broku and Glenn Storrs in 2012 in honor of John Thorbjarnarson, a conservationist who worked to protect endangered crocodilians. Phylogenerescent molecular studies using DNA sequencing have shown crocodiles to be more closely related to the gavialids rather than to alligators, contrary to prior theories based on morphological studies alone. 13, 14, 15, 16, 8 below is a Cladogram showing the relationships of the major extant crocodile groups based on molecular studies, excluding separate extinct taxa. Below is a more detailed cladogram of Crocodilidae, based on a 2021 study using paleogenomics that extracted DNA from the extinct voey. Paleogenomics is a field of science based on the reconstruction and analysis of genomic information in extinct species. Improved methods for the extraction of ancient DNA ADNA from museum artifacts, ice cores, archaeological or paleontological sites, and next-generation sequencing technologies have spurred this field. It is now possible to detect genetic drift, ancient population migration and interrelationships, the evolutionary history of extinct plant, animal, and Homo species, and identification of phenotypic features across geographic regions. Scientists can also use paleogenomics to compare ancient ancestors against modern-day humans. 1. The rising importance of paleogenomics is evident from the fact that the 2022 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to a Swedish geneticist Svante Pääbo in 1955, who worked on paleogenomics. Voey is an extinct genus of crocodile from Madagascar that lived during the late Pleistocene to Holocene, containing only one species, Vive robustus. Numerous subfossils have been found, including complete skulls, noted for their distinctive pair of horns on the posterior, as well as vertebrae and osteoderms from such places as Ambalacatra and Ansarabi. The genus is thought to have become extinct relatively recently. It has been suggested to have disappeared in the extinction event that wiped out much of the endemic megafauna on Madagascar, such as the elephant bird and Malagasy hippo, following the arrival of humans to Madagascar around 2,000 years ago. 2. Its name comes from the Malagasy word for crocodile. Alternatively, some morphological studies have recovered Mesostops as a basal member of Crocodilianae, more closely related to Crocodilus than to Osteolaemus and the other members of Osteolaeminae. 717, as shown in the cladogram below. 17 for information on Tomostoma or false gharial. That is recently not considered as a true crocodile. See false gharial. Characteristics Christoc are similar to alligators and caimans. For their common characteristics and differences among them, see Crocodilia. Skulls and scutes of American, Nile and saltwater crocodiles, with post-occipital scutes highlighted in red, nutshell shield in blue and dorsal scutes in green. Crocodiles, like dinosaurs, have the abdominal ribs modified into gastralia. A crocodile's physical traits allow it to be a successful predator. Its external morphology is a sign of its aquatic and predatory lifestyle. Its streamlined body enables it to swim swiftly. It also tucks its feet to the side while swimming, making it faster by decreasing water resistance. Crocodiles have webbed feet which, though not used to propel them through the water, allow them to make fast turns and sudden moves in the water or initiate swimming. Webbed feet are an advantage in shallow water, where the animals sometimes move around by walking. Crocodiles have a palatal flap, a rigid tissue at the back of the mouth that blocks the entry of water. The palate has a special path from the nostril to the glottis that bypasses the mouth. The nostrils are closed during submergence. Like other archosaurs, Crocodilians are diapsid, although their post-temporal fenestrae are reduced. The walls of the brain case are bony, but lack supratemporal and postfrontal bones. 30. Their tongues are not free, but held in place by a membrane that limits movement. As a result, crocodiles are unable to stick out their tongues. 31. Crocodiles have smooth skin on their bellies and sides, while their dorsal surfaces are armored with large osteoderms. The armored skin has scales and is thick and rugged, providing some protection. They are still able to absorb heat through this armor, as a network of small capillaries allows blood through the scales to absorb heat. The osteoderms are highly vascularized and aid in calcium balance, both to neutralize acids while the animal cannot breathe underwater. 32, and to provide calcium for eggshell formation. 33. Crocodilian tegumen have pores believed to be sensory in function. analogous to the lateral line in fishes. They are particularly seen on their upper and lower jaws. Another possibility is that they are secretory, as they produce an oily substance which appears to flush mud off. 30. Size. Saltwater crocodile in captivity greatly varies among species, from the dwarf crocodile to the saltwater crocodile. Species of the dwarf crocodile Osteolaemus grow to an adult size of just 1.5 to 1.9 meters for 0.9 to 6.2 feet. 34. Whereas the saltwater crocodile can grow to sizes over 6 meters, 20 feet, and weigh over 1,000 kilograms to 200 pounds. Several other large species can reach over 5.2 meters, 17 feet long, and weigh over 900 kilograms to 1,000 pounds. Crocodilians show pronounced sexual dimorphism, with males growing much larger and more rapidly than females. 30. Despite their large adult sizes, crocodiles start their lives at around 20 centimeters, 7.9 in long. The largest species of crocodile is the saltwater crocodile, found in eastern India, northern Australia, throughout Southeast Asia, and in the surrounding waters. The brain volume of 2 adult crocodiles was 5.6 cc for a spectacled caiman and 8.5 cc for a larger Nile crocodile. 36. The largest crocodile ever held in captivity is a saltwater Siamese hybrid named Yai Tai, meaning big, born the 10th of June 1972 at the Samuprakarn Crocodile Farm and Zoo, Thailand. This animal measures 6 meters, 20 feet in length, and weighs 1,200 kilograms to 1,600 pounds. 37. The longest crocodile captured alive was Lolong, a saltwater crocodile, which was measured at 6.17 meters, 20.2 feet, and weighed at 1,075 kilograms to 1,370 pounds, by a National Geographic team in Agusan del Sur Province, Philippines. 38, 39, 40. Teeth. Crocodiles are polyphyodonts. They are able to replace each of their 80 teeth up to 50 times in their 35 to 75-year lifespan. 41, 42. Next to each full-grown tooth, there is a small replacement tooth and an odontogenic stem cell in the dental lamina in standby that can be activated if required. 43. A polyphyodont is any animal whose teeth are continually replaced. In contrast, diphyodonts are characterized by having only 2 successive sets of teeth. 1. Polyphyodonts include most toothed fishes, most notably sharks, many reptiles such as crocodiles and geckos, to 3 for and most other vertebrates, with mammals being the main exception. Tooth development, or odontogenesis, is the process in which teeth develop and grow into the mouth. Tooth development varies among species. The dental lamina is a band of epithelial tissue seen in histologic sections of a developing tooth. 1. 2. The dental lamina is first evidence of tooth development and begins in humans at the 6th week in utero, or 3 weeks after the rupture of the buccopharyngeal membrane. It is formed when cells of the oral ectoderm proliferate faster than cells of other areas. This dividing tissue is surrounded by and, some would argue, stimulated by ectomesenchymal growth. Eventually, the dental lamina disintegrates into small clusters of epithelium and is resorbed. In situations when the clusters are not resorbed, this remnant of the dental lamina is sometimes known as the glands of Ceres. Eruption cysts are formed over the developing tooth and delay its erupting on into the oral cavity. This invagination of ectodermal tissues is the progenitor to the later amyloblasts and enamel, while the ectomesenchyme 3 is responsible for the dental papilla and later odontoblasts. Biology and behavior. Crocodiles are more closely related to birds and dinosaurs than to most animals classified as reptiles, the 3 families being included in the group Archosauria ruling reptiles. Despite their prehistoric look, crocodiles are among the more biologically complex reptiles. Unlike other reptiles, a crocodile has a cerebral cortex and a 4-chambered heart. Crocodilians also have the functional equivalent of a diaphragm by incorporating muscles used for aquatic locomotion into respiration. 40 for salt glands are present in the tongues of crocodiles, and they have a pore opening on the surface of the tongue, a trait that separates them from alligators. Salt glands are dysfunctional in Alligatoridae. 30. Their function appears to be similar to that of salt glands in marine turtles. Crocodiles do not have sweat glands and release heat through their mouths. They often sleep with their mouths open and may pant like a dog. 45 for species of freshwater crocodile climb trees to bask in areas lacking a shoreline. 46. Sensus crocodili. Crocodiles have acute senses, an evolutionary advantage that makes them successful predators. The eyes, ears, and nostrils are located on top of the head, allowing the crocodile to lie low in the water, almost totally submerged and hidden from prey. Vision crocodiles have very good night vision and are mostly nocturnal hunters. They use the disadvantage of most prey animals' poor nocturnal vision to their advantage. The light receptors in crocodilians' eyes include cones and numerous rods, so it is assumed all crocodilians can see colors. 47. Crocodiles have vertical slit-shaped pupils, similar to those of domestic cats. One explanation for the evolution of slit pupils is that they exclude light more effectively than a circular pupil, helping to protect the eyes during daylight. 48. On the rear wall of the eye is a tapetum lucidum, which reflects incoming light back onto the retina, thus utilizing the small amount of light available at night to best advantage. In addition to the protection of the upper and lower eyelids, crocodiles have a nictitating membrane, sometimes called a third eyelid, that can be drawn over the eye from the inner corner while the lids are open. The eyeball surface is thus protected under the water, while a certain degree of vision is still possible. 49 herring crocodiles can hear well. Their tympanic membranes are concealed by flat flaps that may be raised or lowered by muscles. 30. Touch sensors, concentrated in crocodile skin, can be thicker than those in human fingerprints. 54. Crocodiles can feel the touch on their skin. 55. Cranial. The upper and lower jaws are covered with sensory pits, visible as small black speckles on the skin, the crocodilian version of the lateral line organs seen in fish and many amphibians, though arising from a completely different origin. These pigmented nodules encase bundles of nerve fibers innervated beneath by branches of the trigeminal nerve. They respond to the slightest disturbance in surface water, detecting vibrations and small pressure changes as small as a single drop. 56. This makes it possible for crocodiles to detect prey, danger, and intruders, even in total darkness. These sense organs are known as domed pressure receptors deep ears. 57 postcranial. While alligators and caimans have deep ears only on their jaws, crocodiles have similar organs on almost every scale on their bodies. The function of the deep ears on the jaws is clear: to catch prey. But it is still not clear what the function is of the organs on the rest of the body. The receptors flatten when exposed to increased osmotic pressure, such as that experienced when swimming in seawater hyperosmotic to the body fluids. When contact between the integument and the surrounding seawater solution is blocked, crocodiles are found to lose their ability to discriminate salinities. It has been proposed that the flattening of the sensory organ in hyperosmotic seawater is sensed by the animal as touch, but interpreted as chemical information about its surroundings. 57. This might be why in alligators they are upsin on the rest of the body. 58. Hunting and diurnal crocodile attacking wildebeest. An example of humans and mugger crocodiles in the same environment of a cruising crocodile is difficult to locate. Crocodiles are ambush predators, waiting for fish or land animals to come close, then rushing out to attack. Crocodiles mostly eat fish, amphibians, crustaceans, mollusks, birds, reptiles, and mammals, and they occasionally cannibalize smaller crocodiles. What a crocodile eats varies greatly with species, size, and age. From the mostly fish-eating species, like the slender-snouted and freshwater crocodiles, to the larger species like the Nile crocodile and the saltwater crocodile that prey on large mammals, such as buffalo, deer, and wild boar, diet shows great diversity. Diet is also greatly affected by the size and age of the individual within the same species. All young crocodiles hunt mostly invertebrates and small fish, gradually moving on to larger prey. Being ectothermic cold-blooded predators, they have a very slow metabolism, so they can survive long periods without food. Despite their appearance of being slow, crocodiles have a very fast strike and are top predators in their environment. And various species have been observed attacking and killing other predators, such as sharks and big cats. 5960 crocodiles are also known to be aggressive scavengers who feed upon carrion and steal from other predators. 61. Evidence suggests that crocodiles also feed upon fruits, based on the discovery of seeds in stools and stomachs from many subjects, as well as accounts of them feeding. 60 to 63 crocodiles have the most acidic stomach of any vertebrate. They can easily digest bones, hooves, and horns. The BBC TV 64 reported that a Nile crocodile that has lurked a long time underwater to catch prey builds up a large oxygen debt. When it has caught and eaten that prey, it closes its right aortic arch and uses its left aortic arch to flush blood loaded with carbon dioxide from its muscles directly to its stomach. The resulting excess acidity in its blood supply makes it much easier for the stomach lining to secrete more stomach acid to quickly dissolve bulks of swallowed prey flesh and bone. Many large crocodilians swallow stones called gastroliths or stomach stones, which may act as ballast to balance their bodies or assist in crushing food. 30. Similar to grit ingested by birds. Herodotus claimed that Nile crocodiles had a symbiotic relationship with certain birds, such as the Egyptian plover, which enter the crocodile's mouth, and pick leeches feeding on the crocodile's blood, with no evidence of this interaction actually occurring in any crocodile species. It is most likely mythical or allegorical fiction. 65. Bitinal crocodile trying to swallow a big tilapia in Kruger National Park, South Africa. Since they feed by grabbing and holding onto their prey, they have evolved sharp teeth for piercing and holding onto flesh, and powerful muscles to close the jaws and hold them shut. The teeth are not well suited to tearing flesh off of large prey items, as are the dentition and claws of many mammalian carnivores, the hooked bills and talons of raptorial birds, or the serrated teeth of sharks. However, this is an advantage rather than a disadvantage to the crocodile, since the properties of the teeth allow it to hold onto prey with the least possibility of the prey animal escaping. Cutting teeth, combined with the exceptionally high bite force, would pass through flesh easily enough to leave an escape opportunity for prey. The jaws can bite down with immense force, by far the strongest bite of any animal. The force of a large crocodile's bite is more than 5,000 lbf 22,000 N, which was measured in a 5.5 meters 18 feet Nile crocodile. In the field, 66 comparing to 335 lbf 1,490 N for a Rottweiler, 800 lbf 3,600 N for a hyena, 2,200 lbf 9,800 N for an American alligator, 67 failed verification, and for 1,095 lbf 18,220 N for the largest confirmed great white shark. 68. A 5.2 meters, 17 feet long saltwater crocodile has been confirmed as having the strongest bite force ever recorded for an animal, and it was able to apply a bite force value of 3,700 lbf 16,000 N, and thus surpassed the previous record of 2,125 lbf 9,450 N made by a 3.9 meters 13 feet long American alligator. Taking the measurements of several 5.2 meters 17 feet crocodiles as reference, the bite forces of 6 individuals were estimated at 7,700 lbf 30 per 1,000 N. 71. The study, led by Dr. Gregory M. Erickson, also shed light on the larger, extinct species of crocodilians. Since crocodile anatomy has changed only slightly over the last 80 million years, current data on modern crocodilians can be used to estimate the bite force of extinct species. An 11 to 12 meter 36 to 39 feet Deinonychus would apply a force of 23,100 lbf, 103,000 N, nearly twice that of the latest, higher bite force estimations of Tyrannosaurus, 12,814 lbf, 57,000 N, 1872, 73, 74. The extraordinary bite of Crocodilians is a result of their anatomy. The space for the jaw muscle in the skull is very large, which is easily visible from the outside as a bulge at each side. The muscle is so stiff, it is almost as hard as bone to touch, as if it were the continuum of the skull. Another trait is that most of the muscle in a crocodile's jaw is arranged for clamping down. Despite the strong muscles to close the jaw, crocodiles have extremely small and weak muscles to open the jaw. Crocodiles can thus be subdued for study or transport by taping their jaws or holding their jaws shut with large rubber bands cut from automobile inner tubes. Locomo shown a crocodile in a farm, gaping to Thermorregula can move quickly over short distances, even out of water. The land speed record for a crocodile is 17 kilometers per hour, 11 miles per hour, measured in a galloping Australian freshwater crocodile. 75 maximum speed varies between species. Some species can gallop, including Cuban crocodiles, Johnston's crocodiles, New Guinea crocodiles, African dwarf crocodiles, and even small Nile crocodiles. The fastest means by which most species can move is a belly run, in which the body moves in a snake-like sinusoidal fashion, limbs splayed out to either side paddling away frantically while the tail whips to and fro. Crocodiles can reach speeds of 10 to 11 kilometers per hour, 6 to 7 miles per hour when they belly run, and often faster if slipping down muddy riverbanks. When a crocodile walks quickly, it holds its legs in a straighter and more upright position under its body, which is called the high walk. This walk allows a speed of up to 5 kilometers per hour. 76 crocodiles may possess a homing instinct. In northern Australia, 3 rogue saltwater crocodiles were relocated for 100 kilometers to 149 miles by helicopter, but returned to their original locations within 3 weeks, based on data obtained from tracking devices attached to them. 77 longevity measuring crocodile. Age is unreliable, although several techniques are used to derive a reasonable guess. The most common method is to measure lamellar growth rings in bones and teeth. Each ring corresponds to a change in growth rate, which typically occurs once a year between dry and wet seasons. 78. Bearing these inaccuracies in mind, it can be safely said that all crocodile species have an average lifespan of at least 30 to 40 years, and in the case of larger species, an average of 60 to 70 years. The oldest crocodiles appear to be the largest species. C. porosus is estimated to live around 70 years on average, with limited evidence of some individuals exceeding 100 years. 79. In captivity, some individuals are claimed to have lived for over a century. A male crocodile lived to an estimated age of 110 to 115 years in a Russian zoo in Yekaterinburg. 80. Named Kalia. He joined the zoo around 1913 to 1915, fully grown, after touring in an animal show, and lived until 1995. 80. A male freshwater crocodile lived to an estimated age of 120 to 140 years at the Australia Zoo. 81. Known affectionately as Mr. Freshie, he was rescued around 1970 by Bob Irwin and Steve Irwin after being shot twice by hunters and losing an eye as a result, and lived until 2010. 81. Croc World Conservation Center in Scottsburg, South Africa, claims to have a male Nile crocodile that was named Henry. The crocodile is said to have lived in Botswana along the Okavango River, according to Center Director Martin Rodriguez. 82. 83. Social behavior and vocalization. Cative crocodiles resting together with open jaws. Crocodiles are the most social of reptiles. Even though they do not form social groups, Many species congregate in certain sections of rivers, tolerating each other at times of feeding and basking. Most species are not highly territorial, with the exception of the saltwater crocodile, which is a highly territorial and aggressive species. A mature, male saltwater crocodile will not tolerate any other males at any time of the year, but most other species are more flexible. There is a certain form of hierarchy in crocodiles. The largest and heaviest males are at the top, having access to the best basking site, while females are priority during a group feeding of a big kill or carcass. A good example of the hierarchy in crocodiles would be the case of the Nile crocodile. This species clearly displays all of these behaviors. Studies in this area are not thorough, however, and many species are yet to be studied in greater detail. 84 mugger crocodiles are also known to show toleration in group feedings and tend to congregate in certain areas. Therefore, most conspecific vocalization is made during the breeding season, with the exception being year-round territorial behavior in some species and quarrels during feeding. Crocodiles also produce different distress calls and in aggressive displays to their own kind and other animals, notably other predators during interspecific predatory confrontations over carcasses and terrestrial kills. Specific vocalizations include a chirp. When about to hatch, the young make a peeping noise, which encourages the female to excavate the nest. The female then gathers the hatchlings in her mouth and transports them to the water, where they remain in a group for several months, protected by the female 86 distress call, a high-pitched call used mostly by younger animals to alert other crocodiles to imminent danger or an animal being attacked. Threat call, a hissing sound that has also been described as a coughing noise. Hatching call, emitted by a female when breeding to alert other crocodiles that she has laid eggs in her nest. Bellowing, male crocodiles are especially vociferous. Bellowing choruses occur most often in the spring when breeding groups congregate, but can occur at any time of year. To bellow, males noticeably inflate as they raise the tail and head out of water, slowly waving the tail back and forth. They then puff out the throat and with a closed mouth, begin to vibrate air. Just before bellowing, males project an infrasonic signal at about 10 Hz through the water, which vibrates the ground and nearby objects. These low-frequency vibrations travel great distances through both air and water to advertise the male's presence and are so powerful they result in the waters appearing to dance. 87. Reproduction crocodiles lay eggs, which are laid in either holes or mound nests, depending on species. A hole nest is usually excavated in sand, and a mound nest is usually constructed out of vegetation. Nesting periods range from a few weeks up to 6 months. Courtship takes place in a series of behavioral interactions that include a variety of snout rubbing and submissive display that can take a long time. Mating always takes place in water, where the pair can be observed mating several times. Females can build or dig several trial nests, which appear incomplete and abandoned later. Egg-laying usually takes place at night and about 30 to 40 minutes. 88 females are highly protective of their nests and young. The eggs are hard-shelled, but translucent at the time of egg-laying. Depending on the species of crocodile, 7 to 95 eggs are laid. A temperature of 30 to 33 Celsius, 90 to 91 degrees Fahrenheit gives mostly males, whereas above 33 C, 91 degrees Fahrenheit in some species continues to give males, but in other species resulting in females, which are sometimes called high-temperature females. 89. Temperature also affects growth and survival rate of the young, which may explain the sexual dimorphism in crocodiles. The average incubation period is around 80 days, and also is dependent on temperature and species that usually ranges from 65 to 95 days. The eggshell structure is very conservative through evolution, but there are enough changes to tell different species apart by their eggshell microstructure. 90 scutes may play a role in calcium storage for eggshell formation. 33 at the time of hatching. the young start calling within the eggs. They have an egg tooth at the tip of their snouts, which is developed from the skin, and that helps them pierce out of the shell. Hearing the calls, the female usually excavates the nest and sometimes takes the unhatched eggs in her mouth, slowly rolling the eggs to help the process. The young is usually carried to the water in the mouth. She would then introduce her hatchlings to the water and even feed them. 91. The mother would then take care of her young for over a year before the next mating season. In the absence of the mother crocodile, the father would act in her place to take care of the young. 92. However, even with a sophisticated parental nurturing, young crocodiles have a very high mortality rate due to their vulnerability to predation. 93. A group of hatchlings is called a pod or crush and may be protected for months. 88. Cognition crocodiles possess some advanced cognitive abilities. 94, 95, 96. They can observe and use patterns of prey behavior, such as when prey come to the river to drink at the same time each day. Vladimir Donetz of the University of Tennessee observed that crocodiles use twigs as bait for birds looking for nesting material. 97. They place sticks on their snouts and partly submerge themselves. When the birds swooped in to get the sticks, the crocodiles then catch the birds. Crocodiles only do this in spring nesting seasons of the birds, when there is high demand for sticks to be used for building nests. Vladimir also discovered other similar observations from various scientists, some dating back to the 19th century. 94, 96. Aside from using sticks, crocodiles are also capable of cooperative hunting. 96, 98. Large numbers of crocodiles swim in circles to trap fish and take turns snatching them. In hunting larger prey, crocodiles swarm in, with one holding the prey down as the others rip it apart. According to a 2015 study, crocodiles engage in all three main types of play behavior recorded in animals: locomotor play, play with objects, and social play. Play with objects is reported most often, but locomotor play, such as repeatedly sliding down slopes, and social play, such as riding on the backs of other crocodiles, is also reported. This behavior was exhibited with conspecifics and mammals and is apparently not uncommon, though has been difficult to observe and interpret in the past due to obvious dangers of interacting with carnivores. 99. Relationship with humans danger to humans mind article. Crocodile addicts crocodile warning sign, Trinity Beach, Queensland, Australia. Larger species of crocodiles are very dangerous to humans, mainly because of their ability to strike before the person can react. 100. The saltwater crocodile and Nile crocodile are the most dangerous, killing hundreds of people each year in parts of Southeast Asia and Africa. The mugger crocodile and American crocodile are also dangerous to humans. Crocodile meat in teriyaki sauce in Helsinki. Finland crocodiles are protected in many parts of the world, but are also farmed commercially. Their hides are tanned and used to make leather goods, such as shoes and handbags. Crocodile meat is also considered a delicacy. 101. The most commonly farmed species are the saltwater and Nile crocodiles, while a hybrid of the saltwater and the rare Siamese crocodile is also bred in Asian farms. Farming has resulted in an increase in the saltwater crocodile population in Australia, as eggs are usually harvested from the wild, so landowners have an incentive to conserve their habitat. Crocodile leather can be made into goods such as wallets, briefcases, purses, handbags, belts, hats, and shoes. It is also occasionally eaten as an exotic delicacy in the Western world. 100 for cuts of meat include backstrap and tail fillet. Due to high demand for crocodile products, traffic states that 1 million for 118,000 for 187 Nile crocodile skins were exported from Africa between 2006 and 2015. 105. Crocodile hunting and conservation. Aboriginal Australians harvested eggs and hunted crocodiles in a sustainable way for many thousands of years. The Brinken people, aka Marathil, of the Daly River in the Northern Territory, NT used harpoons and bamboo, and even their own hands to capture crocodiles for food. 106. After settlement of northern Australia, in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, non-indigenous people killed individual crocodiles, mostly by locals to protect the population, or novelty-seeking visitors, or just opportunistically, so numbers were not noticeably reduced. From the 1930s, commercial hunting began, with Aboriginal people often employed to kill the crocodiles using traditional methods. From the 1940s to the 1960s, hunting began on a larger scale using .303 rifles. 107. They were hunted for leather, with the skins shipped to plants in capital cities. 106. Western Australia banned hunting freshwater crocodiles in 1962 and saltwater crocodiles in 1970, while NT bans were brought in 1964 and 1971. Queensland did not pass such legislation. The federal government later banned the export of crocodile skins, which brought commercial hunting to an end in Queensland. 107. They have been a protected species since the 1970s, when numbers were down to approximately 3,000 in the NT at the lowest estimate. In 2021, after several attacks on humans by the salties, and an estimated population of around 200,000 had been reached, Queensland politician Bob Catter called for the reintroduction of hunting. 108. In religion and mythology, further information. Crocodilia section cultural depiction statue of Sobek from the mortuary temple of Amenemhat III c. 1810 BC. Ashmolean Museum, Oxford. Brooklyn Museum, plaque from Copal, Panama, with crocodile deity. Call 700-900.33.448.12. Crocodiles have appeared in various forms in religions across the world. Ancient Egypt had Sobek, the crocodile-headed god, with his cult city Crocodilopolis, as well as Toret, the goddess of childbirth and fertility, with the back and tail of a crocodile. 109. The Jukin Shrine in the Wukari Federation, Nigeria, is dedicated to crocodiles in thanks for their aid during migration. 110. In Madagascar, various peoples, such as the Sakalava and Antandroy, see crocodiles as ancestor spirits, and under local feti often offer them food. 111-112. In the case of the latter, at least a crocodile features prominently as an ancestor deity. 111-113. Varuna, a Vedic and Hindu god, rides a part crocodile Makara. His consort Varuni rides a crocodile. 98. Similarly, the goddess personifications of the Ganga and Yamuna rivers are often depicted as riding crocodiles. 114, 115, 116. Also in India, in Goa, crocodile worship is practiced, including the annual Manjthapni ceremony. Sikh warriors known as Nihang also have connections with crocodiles. Nihang may come from the Persian word for a mythical sea creature Persian. 118. The term owes its origin to mule historians who compared the ferocity of the Akali with that of crocodiles. 119. The meaning of Akali in Sikhism, however, is the immortal army of Akal god. 121. In Latin America, Zapatli was the giant earth crocodile of the Aztec and other Nahua peoples. Fighting shark and crocodile, the emblem of Surabaya. The name of Surabaya, Indonesia, is locally believed to be derived from the words Suro shark and Boyo crocodile, to creatures which, in a local myth, fought each other in order to gain the title of the strongest and most powerful animal in the area. It was said that the two powerful animals agreed for a truce and set boundaries, that the shark's domain would be in the sea while the crocodile's domain would be on the land. However, one day, the shark swam into the river estuary to hunt. This angered the crocodile, who declared it his territory. The shark argued that the river was a water realm, which meant that it was shark territory, while the crocodile argued that the river flowed deep inland, so it was therefore crocodile territory. A ferocious fight resumed as the two animals bit each other, Finally, the shark was badly bitten and fled to the open sea, and the crocodile finally ruled the estuarine area that today is the city. 122. Another source alludes to a Jayabaya prophecy, a 12th century psychic king of Kadiri kingdom, as he foresaw a fight between a giant white shark and a giant white crocodile taking place in the area, which is sometimes interpreted as a foretelling of the Mongol invasion of Java, a major conflict between the forces of the Kublai Khan, Mongol ruler of China, and those of Raden Wijayas, Majapahit in 1293. The two animals are now used as the city symbol, with the two facing and circling each other, as depicted in a statue appropriately located near the entrance to the city zoo. In language and as symbols, 1876 U.S. cartoon by Thomas Nass depicting Roman Catholic bishops as crocodiles attacking public schools, with the connivance of Irish Catholic politicians. Main article: Crocodile tears. Term crocodile tears and equivalents in other languages refers to a false, insincere display of emotion, such as a hypocrite crying fake tears of grief. It is derived from an ancient anecdote that crocodiles weep in order to lure their prey, or that they cry for the victims they are eating. First told in the Bibliotheca by Photios I of Constantinople. 124. The story is repeated in bestiaries such as De Besties et Aliis Rebus. This tale was first spread widely in English in the stories of the travels of Sir John Mandeville in the 14th century, and appears in several of Shakespeare's plays. 125. In fact, crocodiles can and do generate tears, but they do not actually cry. 126. In the UK, a row of school children walking in pairs, or to by two, is known as crocodile. 127. 128. Fashion logos. The French clothing company Lacoste features a crocodile in its logo. The American shoe company Crocs also uses this imagery in its logo. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Stay tuned for our next video, and as always, we appreciate your support. Until next time, take care and stay awesome.